Miss Combos with Laura Newseth. Hello and welcome back to Miss Combos with Laura Newseth. I am Laura Newseth, your professor of reacting to cards. I can't believe that we're back with another Bloom Festival reaction. It feels like yesterday since I posted my third video in this channel, which was me reacting to the Bloom Festival cards. And now we are back with another round of Bloom Festival cards. This event is titled Put Your Heart Into It Dream Stage. It will start on September 30th and end on October 9th. And here is the event summary. In Shibuya, the Shibuya High School's Joint Cultural Festival will be held soon. In this school festival, students from various schools in Shibuya will perform and display their works together. Nene, who had become a member of the executive committee, decided to cooperate with students from other schools to perform a musical together. I know Nene looks absolutely beautiful, but I'm going to get started with the two limited Bloom Festival cards. So let's get started with the one that you guys are probably wanting me to react to. Let's talk about Rui's card. So here we have Rui's untrained card, which is tugging at my heartstrings. We have Rui when he was younger, just looking back at all the memories that future Rui is going to have. I know the timeline difference doesn't make sense. It's honestly something out of like Link Click, like going back in time to reminisce on like future events. It doesn't make sense, but still, I really do like the whole Bloom Festival themes. Kind of this card also had a very similar theme last time, and I do enjoy seeing the characters in their younger forms as well. This card also has a few Easter eggs around. You have Finny in the background, the train as well, and a bunch of cards from past events. So overall, such a beautiful card. I think the composition, the lighting, and everything else is absolutely beautiful. And I do rather enjoy Rui's very soft expression on his face as well. And here we have Rui's train card. This is the card that I was waiting for Rui. I have been dreaming about a Rui steampunk card for years. This is what I wanted Revival My Dream Rui to be like. And finally, we have it. Honestly, it was worth the wait because the art style definitely has improved over the years. This is just so perfect for Rui. It's a dystopian, like steampunk society. There's a lot of gears and rusted metal. You have obviously Rui with like robots and mechanics, and it just makes so much sense for his character. In the background, we have a city. It actually looks like a combination of major cities, like a very dystopian like mixture of all these cities, because you have Big Ben in the background, then you have some architecture that looks more like New York City. So it just looks so cool. There's just so much going on. The art style is absolutely amazing. The colorful palette art team like really needs a raise because they keep constantly like pushing the boundaries now that we're past the 3rd anniversaries. I love the composition of this card, the lighting, the colors. Rui himself looks absolutely beautiful with that soft facial expression. The purple flowers that are acting like vines, you can see them on the gear as well as the pipes and where Rui is sitting. Everything about this card is so good. So for Rui fans, best of luck. I really hope you get this card because it is absolutely incredible. Easily one of the best cards that this game has released so far. Next up, we have Rin's Untrained card, which is very similar to Meiko's Untrained card from the last Bloom Festival event. So we have Rin happily looking back at all her different memories with all the other units. She looks so happy and warm, and the warm lighting in this picture just kind of brings it all together. Like, she really does encompass a lot of optimism and hope in my opinion. So now let's go over to her trained card, because for classic Vocaloid fans, this card gives me Meltdown Rin. This is Meltdown Rin, but make it 2024. It is amazing. Obviously, you have a much modern take on Meltdown. You also do have some of the steampunk elements that we saw in Rui's card, But with Irene, there is so much going on. You have the headphones, speakers, the keyboard in the background. Again, it just reminds me a lot of Meltdown, not only the artwork, but also the Project Diva music video as well. So it is just a very nostalgic card to me. To me, this feels like an ode to Project Diva. I don't know if that was their intention, but I do like that nod to, a version of Rin that older Vocaloid fans do have a lot of nostalgia for. Also, if I can talk a little bit about my interpretation of this card right here, we have a virtual singer, Rin, surrounded by all of these instruments and tangible things that are used in the music industry. I feel like especially like back in the day, you would hear that Vocaloid wasn't real music. And you forget the same argument with electronic music in general. Back in the day, people really didn't appreciate or take electronic music seriously. They just assumed that it was people clicking on a few buttons and that was it. They saw no form of artistry whatsoever. It wasn't really considered an instrument, when in reality, you can create music with Vocaloid just like you can with a guitar or a keyboard or any other instrument. So I feel like having Rin surrounded by all of these instruments that are destroyed, it kind of, in my opinion, signifies how Vocaloid became a disruption to what people were used to making music with. This is my take. I would love to hear your interpretation of this card in the comments below, because I feel like you can definitely talk for days about this card. Now let's talk about the other cards, starting with Nene's Untrained card, which makes me feel emotional. I know in my character ranking video, I put Nene in D because I don't know much about her, but what I do know is that she was very closed off and shy at first and not very confident in her ability to sing and also just be on stage. So seeing something like this makes me emotional to see how much she has progressed in the storyline, how much her confidence has really bloomed. Like, we are talking about the Bloom Festival cards. It's a beautiful card. I love the spotlight shining on her facial expression. She looks so proud of this moment that she helped put together. And honestly, I just hope that the audience is just clapping like a standing ovation for Nene, because it's truly what she deserves. And here is Nene's trained artwork, which is absolutely beautiful. I mean, everything about this, from the lighting, the shading, the composition, the arrangement, is absolutely stunning. But I do really want to talk about some of the flowers that are in this image, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of meaning to the flowers that each of the characters will have. I apologize, I am not a botanical expert. I can only identify some of the easier flowers, but I still wanted to go through some of the meanings for these flowers. So white daisies are known to symbolize innocence and purity, while pink daisies are typically attached to childlike or platonic love, and they're also a symbol of joy and positivity. I also see some lavender on the upper left hand corner, and lavender is known to represent purity, silence, devotion, serenity, grace, and calmness, all which suit Nene perfectly. Other flowers that I can kind of spot, at least if I'm guessing correctly, I do see some that resemble geranium, and while geranium does have some conflicted feelings as far as symbolism goes, some of the feelings are gentility and also true friendship, which could definitely work for Nene. If you can identify some of the other flowers or just want to talk about this card itself, please let me know in the comments below. Next up, we have Shiho, who is getting her makeup done for the play. From her facial expression, I can sense some just conflicting feelings about her appearance. I know Shiho is typically a lot more edgy and androgynous, so maybe looking at herself, looking a bit more feminine and dainty, might just feel and look a little bit weird to her, but I can also sense that she's being a good sport about it and just going with the flow. And here is Shiho's trained card, which looks absolutely amazing. Here's what I'm talking about. Shiho looking more edgy, androgynous, and I absolutely love that jellyfish haircut that's very similar to the one that we saw from An, but it just suits Shiho so damn well. As for flowers in this image, we have white daisies, which once again symbolize innocence and purity. I do see some pink daisies as well. For Shiho, I feel like that could definitely symbolize her positivity, but for Shiho, I specifically spot some red daisies. And red as a color is always attached to passion and love, and red daisies are also attached to that type of sentiments. And I know when people think about passion and love, they think about something romantic, but I feel like, especially with the context of this card, seeing the vinyl records, the cassette, and all of these analog musical things, I feel like it's indicative of Shiho's love and passion for music, which would make so much sense for her. And it makes me just like the symbolism of these flowers even more. So I'm a big fan of this card, and I think Shiho looks absolutely amazing in this card. It's definitely one of my favorite Shiho cards that has come out in the game so far. Next up, we have Airi's untrained card, and she looks absolutely beaming, so happy to be performing on stage. And I gotta say, I love that she's performing with castañuelas. For those of you who don't know what castañuelas are, they're a musical instrument that are often paired with flamenco dancing in Spain. They make this beautiful clacking, like rattling sound because they're made out of wood. And you often see the flamenco dancers dancing with their hands very like eloquently. So I personally love it. My grandma gifted me castañuelas from a trip that she took to Spain when I was a kid. And it's something that I have cherished for many, many years. So it makes me happy seeing the castañuelas in Project Sekai. Now this is Airi's trained card, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the colors. Again, the lighting, the shadows, everything. Airi's pose is also so playful, very Airi. At first when I saw this, I thought it was Luca because of the very long pink hair, but no, it is our girl Airi, and she is surrounded by a bunch of pink flowers. It took me a while to figure out which type of flower it was. I kept going back and forth. They kind of look like peony, but upon closer inspection, no, they're not peony, they're not tulips. This is not a cherry blossom. It is not a poppy either. And then I settled on camellia, but it didn't look like the typical camellia flowers that I'm used to. And then I found out that there's actually a Japanese variant of the camellia flower, which actually looks a lot closer to the flowers in Airi's card. So camellias are known to symbolize grace, beauty, sophistication, and also perseverance, which perseverance works really well for Airi, especially as she's following her idol dreams. So I think camellia are the flowers surrounding Airi. It would make so much sense. And the final card belongs to none other than my favorite character, Toya, and here he is with Mizuki looking at their costumes. I will say he got the least interesting untrained card. He has a little shocked face. He kind of looks like shocked Pikachu. He just looks so silly, and Mizuki looks so happy. But overall, this is the least interesting of the untrained cards in my opinion. And here we have Toya's trained card, which is absolutely beautiful. I was not expecting something like this. Obviously, I wanted it to be beautiful because it is my favorite character. But this card, the composition, the lighting, the shadows, it exceeded my expectations. So I'm personally just very, very happy with this card. And also, this one, we can clearly tell which flower it is, which is a white lily. And this flower is very interesting because it's one that you see a lot in funerals and also in bridal arrangements. So very different occasions, but white lilies typically represent purity and rebirth. Rebirth would make so much sense for Toya, especially considering his last focus event where he finally got to let go of his inner demons, and the fact that we have the white lily in his mouth, it's like he is directing his own rebirth, which is really, really cool to see, and it makes me proud of him knowing that he's overcome all his obstacles and now he just feels free to pursue his musical dreams. He's no longer feeling like held back by his father and his dream of having Toya following in his footsteps into classical music. Toya can now decide his own destiny at his pretty much his free will. So I am very proud to see Toya's progression as a character, and this is actually not the first time that we've seen Toya posed around a bunch of white flowers. In the event An Ode for a Pure Heart, or the Wedding Toya event, we got this card, which is actually one of my favorite cards in Project Sekai. It is Toya surrounded by a bunch of white roses, and typically white roses are attached to purity, but they also symbolize innocence, youthfulness, loyalty, and young love as well. So I feel like in the past he was definitely a lot more naive, very innocent-like, and now with this card you can see how much he's grown as a person. So I'm really loving how even in his flower related cards you can see the character progression of Toya in Project Sekai. And lastly, we have Ena's 3-star card. Here she is with Emu, who is just dragging her so excitedly. Hopefully no cars are coming by, it's a little careless. And also Honami behind them, but you know what, they're very excited. They're obviously probably looking forward to the play that Nene is putting together, so I can't blame them. And then we have her train card, which honestly, it looks like a 4-star card. This does not look like a 3-star card at all. We have Ena surrounded by a bunch of frames. Some of them have music, some of them are very abstract, and then there's one frame where you can see some flowers, and it's a variety of different flowers. They look like a variety of daisies, but one that really stands out are the yellow daisies, which symbolize joy, optimism, friendship. So I feel like everything surrounding Ena do symbolize Night Court and her friendship with the other members in Night Court. So I think this is also very fitting for Ena. And that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed me talking about the symbolism of flowers. I love flowers. I grew up with a lot of flowers because the same grandma that gave me the castañuelas used to own a flower shop. So as soon as I saw the actual cards and saw all the different flowers in the cards, my mind just went into overdrive. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts about these cards in the comments below, and good luck to everyone who is pulling. Let me know if you would like to see my polls, because I can definitely put a video together and show you all the crazy polls that I got because they were insane. If you're brand new to my channel, please take the moment to subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye bye!